You've definitely seen an iris before, right? In a garden, maybe a bouquet, they're beautiful, they're familiar, but it turns out this flower is hiding some absolutely incredible secrets right there in plain sight. So let's dive in and see what's really going on. See, this flower isn't just pretty. Its structure is a total masterpiece of natural engineering. Its chemistry, well, that's sought after by some of the biggest luxury brands in the world. And its history is completely woven into the fabric of human culture. So the question is, how did this common flower become so extraordinary? Well, it all starts with the name. The entire genus, Iris, gets its name from the Greek goddess of the rainbow. She was a messenger, connecting the heavens and the earth. And honestly, it's the perfect name, especially when you consider the absolutely staggering variety of colors you find in these flowers. Okay, so to get just a little bit technical for a second, iris is a huge group. We're talking over 300 different species. They're perennials, which means they come back year after year. And they do that by growing from one of two underground parts, either a thick, creeping root called a rhizome, or, especially in drier places, a bulb. But the real genius, the real magic, that's not happening underground. It's right there in the flower itself. Let's take a look at its anatomy, because it's basically a brilliantly designed little pollination machine. So the iris has this really unique structure. You've got the three petals that stand straight up. Those are called standards. Then you have the three that droop down below them, and those are called falls. And on some of the most popular irises, you'll find this thing right here called a beard. And that beard isn't just for looks. Oh no, this fuzzy little line is the perfect landing strip for a bee, guiding it right down the runway, straight toward the nectar inside. Now here's where the trap springs. As the bee crawls in, it brushes off pollen from the last flower it visited. But as it backs out, there's this tiny little flap that makes sure it only picks up new pollen from this flower. It physically can't pollinate the same flower it's leaving. It's a clever one-way door that guarantees it mixes genes with other plants. This amazing design is just one example of how adaptable the iris is. The entire family is just enormous and incredibly diverse. And, that diversity really does start right at the roots. Okay, so let's go back to those two main types. You have the rhizomatous irises. That includes the classic bearded iris you see in gardens. They spread using those thick, kind of gnarly root stalks that just creep along under the soil. Then you have the bulbous irises, like Dutch or Spanish irises. They grow from a compact little bulb, which is way better for surviving long, dry seasons. And you can really see the difference here. On the left, that's the tough, creeping rhizomes. And on the right, you've got that neat, self-contained bulb. Just two totally different strategies for survival and growth. This incredible adaptability has allowed the iris to pretty much conquer the entire northern hemisphere. Seriously, you can find them everywhere from freezing mountain peaks and dry deserts to soggy riverbanks and shady woods. It is one remarkably tough plant. And of course, wherever they grew, we humans took notice. Our relationship with the iris is this long, fascinating story of obsession, and it really focuses on two things: trying to get the perfect color and trying to capture its incredible scent. For flower breeders, the absolute holy grail is a truly red iris. But a lot like the famous blue rose, it's just proven scientifically impossible. See, irises have the genetic recipe for making blues and purples, but they literally don't have the biological pathway to create the pigment that makes things red. But here's the crazy part. While all these breeders were chasing the color of the petals, the iris's most valuable secret, well, it wasn't in the flower at all. Nope, it was hidden right there underground in those gnarly rhizomes. And this is where the story takes a sharp turn from gardening to, believe it or not, high-end luxury. To unlock the value hidden in that rhizome, you need patience, a lot of it. The harvested roots, which are called Orris root, have to be dried and then aged for up to 5 years before their secret is finally revealed. So after all that waiting, the oils inside the root oxidize and create these incredibly fragrant compounds. When they're distilled, they produce this thick, oily stuff called iris butter, and it's one of the most prized and expensive ingredients in the perfume world. It's also used to flavor luxury gins, including the famous Bombay Sapphire. This hidden value is just one part of its incredible story. For thousands of years, the iris has been on this amazing journey, transforming from just a simple wildflower into one of our most powerful and recognizable symbols. It starts right here. Just a wild plant, growing quietly on a riverbank or in a meadow somewhere. Simple. Then it's elevated into the world of fine art, captured forever in one of Vincent van Gogh's most famous paintings. And from there, it's stylized into the fleur-de-lis, becoming the unmistakable emblem of French kings and a global symbol of power and prestige. And that symbol's influence is everywhere today. Once you start looking for it, you can see it on the flag of Quebec, the helmets of the New Orleans Saints football team, and as the official flower for cities and states from Brussels all the way to Tennessee, and even Jordan. So, from its ingenious design and its hidden treasures to its place in art and royalty, the iris really does live up to its name. It's a rainbow bridge, connecting the natural world to the highest points of our culture. The only question left is, what are you going to see the next time you look at one?